So we're here at the new unveiling of the Impossible Foods 2.0 newest recipe with founder and CEO of Impossible Foods, Dr. Pat Brown. And we're looking towards the future at CES here after all. And you mentioned you're already working on version 3.0. You started with version 1.0 in 2016. We're getting 2.0 now. And I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about what we have to look forward to next out of Impossible, your new iterations, any new products.
Sure. So actually, just by way of background, we're constantly working on, not just on this product, but on this product, we're constantly working on improvements. And literally we go through 100 iterations of trying out various changes in the recipe every month, okay?
Wow.
And we locked down this recipe several months ago. We immediately were working on improvements. We have the version we're working on right now, I would say is dramatically improved in some important areas. And we're literally just talking about, okay, when, because we just launched this one, about, okay, and there's a lot of logistics and planning and communication when we're launching a new product and stuff like that. So it's like, can't just do it because we have something better in the pipeline. But I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year we have another.
So we're accelerating maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, the thing is that, like, we're making discoveries all the time, but it only becomes a new product when you kind of like bring a whole bunch of threads together and just say, okay, this is the new thing. So I'd say that the basic pace of R&D has been just at going at a blazing speed from day one. But in terms of the product release cycle, I think it's partly because also, well, we'd only done one product release until this one, so now we've done two, and we're starting to figure it out.
Yes,
yeah.
You're learning, you're getting better at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of, you had mentioned some new products coming out besides just a ground beef alternative.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about those.
Well, okay, so when we started building the technology platform, we were not focused on ground beef. That was a strategic choice when we wanted to pick the product that we felt would have the maximum disruptive impact relevant to our mission. But meanwhile, the things that we learned about meat flavor, a lot of them are extremely broadly applicable. In fact, we even discovered and have patents around the basic biochemistry of fish flavor, which we kind of cracked the code on also as part of our technology platform. But because we're a small company, we have very finite resources to focus on commercialization, product launches, and we have to be very deliberate about it. And so that's why the focus right now has been on the most disruptive product we can make right now, which is ground beef. But we're starting to think about actual bringing together some of the research threads where we've learned a lot of things about how to do it to work on what are called whole cuts of beef, which is like slices and steaks and stuff like that, where there's a bunch of other let's say, technical things that we need to figure out and to get that kind of long-range texture and anatomy and et cetera that is different from ground beef. And we're on the case. So I would say that the next categorically new product that we'll launch is almost certainly going to be like a beef steak. And that's because the biggest impact, we just decided that to maximize progress on our mission, right now, the most impactful thing we can do is to make products that compete against the incumbent beef industry.
Right, industrialized
and so, as long as our commercialization bandwidth is limited, we want to focus our impact there.
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating because I think beef is sort of the holy grail of meat, and then steak is sort of the holy grail from there, in terms of indulgence and texture and flavor. It's kind of when you get a steak dinner that's like the carnivore's dream. So
Yeah.
to have a really delicious alternative is kind
Exactly,
of what
and that's why I think this is another reason why that's a choice, is that it has huge symbolic value, because it's something that I think, as you said, it's sort of the epitome of meat for a lot of meat eaters. And I think that if we can make just an awesomely delicious world-class steak, that will really be, it'll have huge symbolic value. In fact, what I would say is that it will be very disruptive, not just to the beef industry, but to the other sectors of the meat industry, because of the simple fact that even though we don't even need to say it, but what they'll be thinking is, that could have been us.
Right.
And it will be us next.
Right.
And they're right.
At this point, the more the merrier, I would say, in the plant-based meat world. You know, there's so much demand and it's growing, and there are new players, but it seems like there's a lot of room for a lot of people to be innovating. And
I hope so. I mean, you know, a lot of people sort of have the idea, oh, you know, all the other people who are working on plant-based products and replacing animals in the food system are like our competition. They're not our competition. They're on the same mission we're on.
right.
All of us together have a tiny fraction of the market. And the only thing that matters is going after the big incumbent industry. If other people are making great products, honestly, and this is not BS, we love it. Like, the best thing they can do for us is to make really good products, because the biggest obstacle we have is that meat eaters expect our products to suck. Because every plant-based product that was intended to be a replacement for meat, to a meat eater, is by and large horrible. And so getting over that expectation is really the biggest hurdle to getting people to try our product.
Right.
And every time someone out there makes another bad plant-based product, it just makes our life more difficult. And from a mission standpoint, this is the thing. If the industry we're going after has a market size of about $3 trillion in 10 years. And if we had to share that with 50 other companies, you know, our investors would have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
And you know, and it would just accomplish the job that much faster.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Don't want to take up too much of your time on this exciting night, but it was a pleasure to talk with you.
Cheers. Fun talking to you.